The month of September is bringing in a feeling of settling and maybe of culmination or coming to the peak of a process. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. I'm Paige, energy healer and channel, and this is your September energy update. I am trying something a little bit different this month. I usually do my updates mid-month because I like to capture where we've been and what's coming next. But I know that a lot of you like something at the beginning of the month that gives you a little bit more of a forecast. So I'm going to try this out. Do let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, please do like and subscribe if you enjoy this. It really does help. I'm, as always, going to give you the Metatron frequencies from the month of August and also a message from a galactic for this month of September. And everything is echoing back to this same process of culmination. So let's get into it. I think it's important for everyone to remember that even though we do these forecasts and things at the beginning of a month, the energy doesn't change at the beginning of the month, right? The energy changes whenever it changes, and it moves in ebbs and flows. There are different streams of energy. There are different processes going on. So it isn't ever like one thing stops and something else starts. So where we're finding ourselves right now in this moment is a settling of the energy that's been in process. So I've been talking about this for the last 3-4 months. If you look back at the past energy updates, and they are all here on my channel, you'll remember or you'll find that I've been talking about these processes that have been underway, and they've felt like they were kind of elevated, almost like something above us that might have felt intangible at times, might have felt overwhelming at times, but might have also just felt like unsettled, like something's shifting, something's changing. A lot of people have been saying they feel like they're at the precipice of something, or they feel like something's about to change for them. They're being pushed towards something new. I think we're about to hit that turn where we start to see what those things are. Otherwise, if you've been in a process that you might actually be more aware of, those things should start to feel like they're settling. It's almost like what's been up here is starting to come down and have a little bit more weight to it. You might feel like pieces are coming into place. You might have more clarity on situations, even though they may not be done. So again, culmination doesn't mean in this scenario that they're ending, but it might mean that they're coming to a peak. And this really does echo what we had in the Metatron channeling from last month and the message that came in from the galactic for this month. So let's go ahead and go there to the Metatron channeling. This is the monthly channeling that I hold on the Insight Timer. It's a free meditation with channeled message and strong frequency transmission. It is Metatron joined by 7 archangels and a host of other beings. I think in our last one we had around 205 other beings. That includes a lot of angels and galactics. These are free. Anyone can join. The link is in the description below. Just click there and it'll take you to the next event. If you haven't joined those, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to read to you the frequencies that came through in the last Metatron channeling and the overall theme, what that means for you, what that means for all of us, etc. So in August, we had a theme of adaptation of higher understanding within the emerging field of consciousness. And I'm going to say that this speaks to what we've been talking about for the last 3-4 months of this new timeline coming in and the quantum field that's been opening up with that new timeline. This is a moment of stepping into that new higher state. That's what that timeline is. I talked about timelines, I think it was in the last update, and went into a little more detail on what they are and what that means. The quantum field is a field of resonance, so you have to move into that field of resonance. So here are the frequencies that came in. First, we had the transmutation of higher levels of understanding. That's an integration, adaptation. It's moving into a state where you are holding and maintaining higher levels of understanding. Then we had the self-propelling pathway free of obstruction or resistance. We've had that same frequency for the last, I want to say 4 months. that really indicates a strong flow, a strong push forward that continues. So it's been pushing us this whole time. And the last one was the joining of two separate beings. This is really about oneness. It's separate forms that are merging. So again, we've got this merging together, oneness within the field of higher consciousness. And that was actually the ultimate title or theme that I gave this one, was oneness within an emerging field of higher consciousness. So again, it's a coming together. It's the pieces falling into place. So let's go to the message from the galactic. This is from an unnamed galactic. Sometimes the names are really hard for me to get. This is not one who's come through before. Sometimes they just pop in and they have a message. So the message this time is, the time has come to raise yourselves up from your prior states of low frequency alignment. Now is the time. You must choose to see yourselves as more, to see each other and all of humanity as more than you have been, to see the potential that exists in all of you and to reach for something higher. And this is really important, this emphasis on reaching, because it's one thing to just consider moving higher as a concept, right? To say, oh, that's nice, or oh, great, I hope that happens to me, that kind of thing. It's different to reach, right? That actually moves it from something passive to something active. It means you're really putting in intention and effort, and that's really important. Again, it is now. Take the other with you. Pull them along. Lift them by lifting yourselves and how you see them. You may reach now. Now is the time. So really a lot of emphasis on right now. Again, it's the coming together moment. It's the merging. It's that new higher timeline, the field of consciousness that goes with it, all of it coming together right now. And it is so important that you do use intention and you do reach. One thing that was interesting to me in this quote from the galactic was that it echoed something that was in the Metatron channeling. And you can listen to that channeling. It's here on my channel, the one from August. That full recording is there. I actually have two versions this time. We're splitting them because a lot of people only want the short message. So there is one version that gives you just the spoken message and another one that gives you the full meditation. So if you like to sit in the meditation, absolutely do that, or just have it on. Here's the difference. You're getting all of the energy if you listen to the whole thing. So I really do recommend doing that. It's up to you. You can turn the volume down if you don't want to hear the ads. And I can't take them out. So in that channeling, Metatron said, take the hand of the other. Take the hand of the other and lead. And I really wanted to talk about this because I just returned from a wonderful retreat with Paul Selig. And wow, that was fantastic. Highly recommended. And one thing that was emphasized was how we see the other. Right? How we see ourselves and how we see the other. There was a quote that came up from his guides that stood out to me. What you damn, damns you back. And I think that this is so important for us to remember all the time, especially now as we move into a new election and all of everything that goes along with that. What you damn, damns you back. That means that whatever you project onto negatively is going to come back to you. It's like a boomerang effect. And how that works is that when you send that energy out, it isn't as if you just send it out and it's gone and you let it go, right? It remains there because every time you think about that thing, it's there in that negative light. That means you stay connected to that negative impression, that negative or lower vibrational impression. It keeps you in what would be considered like a loop, let's say, where you project onto it, that negativity comes back to you every time you reflect on it, think about it, etc., and it just remains in this loop. Now is the time to change those loops. And one thing that really came through so strongly from the guides in this retreat was about seeing the other in a higher state, seeing the divine in all things, in all beings. and in all situations. So when we think about timelines and moving forward and leading, right? Not everyone has been doing the same work of pushing themselves higher, and a lot of people have, but obviously a lot of people haven't. When we look at others, we don't need to see them as less than, or they're not going to move higher, I'm going to move higher. Leave all the one-upmanship behind. When you see others, see the divine in them. You want to project onto them something higher so that we can all move together, so that collectively we're lifted together. And that is how we lead. We don't lead by projecting negatively onto others. So that was it. Those are my final words of advice for you for this month of September. I think it could be a wild ride. There's a lot going on with the astrology. I won't even go into all of that, but definitely do watch some of your favorite astrologers and their videos this month. I love Pam Gregory. As always, she's a great reference. And just keep these things in mind. What do you want for yourself? How do you reach? What does that mean for you to reach higher? And how can you extend some of this higher thought, higher patterning into your life by seeing it in others, by seeing it in situations, by recognizing that all things are an expression of divine, all aspects of your life in some way. Thank you for joining me. Please again do like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next month.